More. Okay, review and approve July 9th, 2024 minutes.
Move to approve the minutes.
Amend that.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, you gotta take that last line,
Yep.
Yeah.
Then review and approve July 23rd, 2024 warrant.
Second.
All in favor? Then is all in text. You don't have a copy of that, Robert?
Should be part of that packet.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Sorry, I put
Yeah,
the
I got it.
email on top of it. Didn't talk
Yeah,
to go.
you didn't.
So I move that we, sign the tax amendment with a $16.10 rate. As prepared.
Okay. All in favor? You slap it. Oh, no. Yeah. Your phone rang. Sign away. Next thing is, Newtown website review. We have two quotes here?
Yes.
Okay. That one says $6,000.
So, could you, help us make sense of this again?
So the,
Let's start with Town Cloud.
yep, so the Town Cloud, I believe to set up the website was a $350 fee. And, of course, you get a better deal with the length of subscription. So they break that down. That total quote there, I believe, is a 3-year quote. So over 3 years, it's like $4,000. And then the one that Dale has there, the setup to actually develop the site, as opposed to $350, with Town Cloud $6,000 to develop the website. And then, I cannot remember, I think it's $1,800 a year.
For 6 years.
For six, that's total for, you have to lock into 6 years.
Yeah.
So it's much higher than that if you go with, a shorter subscription period, like
3,000. up to
1,
5
2,
years.
3, yeah. So, Bob and I looked at the demonstrations together, and then I sent them to all of you to review them. And, so Revive, when I initially had talked to them a year or so ago, I think they quoted me for setup fee was like $2,500, so it took a significant jump. And at that point, that was mid-level. It wasn't the most expensive website that a lot of your municipalities go with. Civic Plus is the most popular one. Your towns nearby, and then your larger towns with that. And Cumberland County, for example, went with Revive, which is one of that, so they moved over from that Civic Plus to Revive, and they were real happy with that. And where it was more affordable at the time that I had talked to them a year ago when we began discussions on it, I opted in for the demo because I didn't think it would be as expensive. And then Town Cloud was another recommendation. I first reached out to Christine Warner, IT person, for recommendations to work with various towns. And Town Cloud was one that he had recommended. And then looked at towns that use both of the websites besides Cumberland County to kind of get a feel for what they look like. And they are very different. Town Cloud is more bare bones, get your information out there, it's functional. Although I'm glad that we use a demonstration because it does have capability for adding more graphics, so it just doesn't look like text messaging, which is nice. So you can keep it as plain and simple as you want, or you can add a bit more graphics. Whereas Revises, have much more in the way of bells and whistles. And my honest feeling is I think it's great, and I think that they would be very helpful with support and all of that, but I'm not sure that we need all of that.
Right.
I really don't think that we do. And they offer an agenda, so you can get just the website, or you can get the agenda piece of it too, which is additional, and that could be utilized for all of the boards in terms of, so you have an electronic version of the agenda, and well, that may or may not be, and you can attach packets of information, like, I think, if it's something real involved, I'll copy it off, and you get an email version individually, but in terms of printing it out for the meeting, if it's something that's in-depth or crazy important, then I do make 3 copies, but lots of times it's just the one, for you to all kind of review again. But you would have the agenda packets attached to the agenda with the agenda part of it. Flemington opted to not go with the agenda piece of it because they were happy with what they were doing, their traditional way, probably similar to what we've been doing.
Yeah.
So that's not something that we have to go to, so that would actually lower that quote there, if you wanted to wait on that.
Both companies will take your existing website and convert it for you as part of the project. So you don't start with, okay, now what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Which is, we created and pushed around.
Revise would take 6 to 9 months, I think it was closer to 9 months to create the site, whereas the other, Town Cloud is just a matter of days. And Town Cloud, although it looks like if you look at their information, they're out of state, like Midwest, but they actually, the creators live in Maine, and the salesperson is in New Hampshire, and you have their cell phone numbers. She said that she gets interrupted at 7 o'clock at night if somebody has a question, and it doesn't, they're very receptive to helping them.
Support.
Yeah, I think Waterford is where they kind of base themselves out of, per se. I mean, they work from home because of the situation as well, but they're local, in other words. But they are in 40-something states in terms of municipal websites.
It's important that we do one of these soon. Interestingly, a lot of our stuff, I don't know if it's what would be looked at, but it's where we store stuff. Filing cabinet, so it's there needs to be some other form, but at this point, that's the way it's done. And I'd like to see it made safer, soon. So my recommendation is that we go with the Town Cloud.
They don't need all those bells and whistles.
No, I don't think so. Not the price these guys are charging.
Yeah.
Like it would be nice to have a hosted email system instead of using Gmail or something like that. We have our own hosted email system, but God, we're charging too much for it.
I don't remember what the figure was, but,
both of them are not cheap.
No, we still had to use GoDaddy for a domain for the individual email account, but just have them revised, it was like, was it another $1,800 a year or something crazy?
Yeah.
So,
So much for it. Now, I struggle with what we got for a while. So I move that we, go with Town Cloud.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I think they'll meet any,
Yeah.
all the time, yeah.
All in favor?
before we move on to the next, do you want to start with the basic website, or do you want to do the package with both the website and the agenda?
Well, I think if we can do the agenda thing as an add-on, I mean, agendas can be published necessarily as a graphic.
It would be a button that people can click on and actually view the agenda,
Right.
like what's sitting here.
Right. Or
And it's,
for another $600 a year. $900 a year. Special agenda function. I would start with just the basic, and we could talk from as we go,
or do just the
Yeah.
website.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You want to add on later, you can.
I told her today, when I talked to her today, that most often we don't really have the agenda, nailed down until Tuesday. And then
Yeah,
we've got
hours
stuff in the
before.
works.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
she said women could kind of opt to not do it for that reason, but.
Good.
All right, let's see, the West Baldwin United Methodist Church has requested the return of unused donated funds. They give money, they donate money to us for general assistance for heating every year. And we haven't been using it. And we're asking, we're not gonna use it to give it back. So,
I didn't know it was there. I thought it was transportation.
So it's
Equal.
for
How
both,
much is it equal?
about 5,000.
that's, I believe, for 2 years, I think,
Okay.
maybe a little bit more, but it's for folks that don't qualify for general assistance, but they still are in need of help. So, they've given us, and it has been helpful in the past, but I don't know for what reason we haven't used it the last 2 years. Perhaps with not having a general assistance person sitting there on Thursdays, maybe that's just my thought.
Yeah.
With a little bit of a disconnect, I don't know.
The way this works is, that it wasn't administered by the general assistance, administrator. If there was somebody that looked like they might benefit from some heating assistance though, but didn't qualify based on the rules, Deb was given the authority to money. And I think usually she's dependent on somebody being referred to. I don't know, it's not been that through the sewer.
I don't know, apparently not, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't know.
There's always that chance that somebody's gonna need it, though.
Well, I don't know, and I don't know what the implication of can we give the money back.
That check with the,
Auditor.
auditor, it has to be our decision.
As a selectman, well, I have no qualms against it myself.
The church has another family that's in need, that could use some funds,
Oh, okay.
and that's why they approached us.
Oh, okay.
I personally don't inform that, I move that we, return the balance to, the church.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll tell you that. For the use, for,
Yeah, someone needs that money. Yeah. All right, Graftonville Cemetery, tree damage and potential hazard. You said it's stone that are broken. There's another tree that, another limb, big limb that's hanging.
So Dwayne came in and he said that a very large old tree fell and broke up some stone that he said they're not repairable, but I think somebody should try to identify, maybe it's the historical society or your dad or somebody has records of, you know, the plot. Maybe they can sort out whose stone it was before it's cleaned up, but, he wanted to clean up the tree, which would require a chainsaw because it's a large tree. But he said there's also, the way he described it, sounds like a top of another pine tree that's the size of a tree that is, caught up in branches over the cemetery. So at any time, if those branches were to let go, then that tree would come down. And, so I don't think it's safe for him to do that until, that's removed, and if it's not removed, when it does come down, it's gonna probably damage a lot more stone.
Yeah. That's probably better off to take it down in a controlled situation, and then,
Is this one private property, the cemetery, or is it?
I don't know.
yeah,
That's-
by the cemetery. The bar is that if the landowner doesn't wanna take the responsibility of keeping up, the town does. So,
You'd have to coincide with the other one, let them know.
Right, yeah.
So,
yeah. Do you know who the owner is?
I know nothing about it at all. We just said, because of the difficulties on Grafton Road with Martin Cemetery, that we had him go mow until that situation improved. So he's just getting up there now. And I don't know, what storm it was that
Right,
did the damage, or where it is. I'm not familiar with that area at all.
Pretty woody. I might get in that one.
Yep.
It's kind of goes down off the road, and down a path, and then in there. I would think Howard and Nelson would spot that.
yeah, I think you're right, there's a house that's down.
Yeah, I always think that, you want to cut the tree so it fell into the field,
Yeah,
rather than into the cemetery,
Right.
so, I don't know.
Well, it's a part of the tree that's hung up in other limbs, so it's just suspended up there, and it's the size of a tree.
I think it takes the whole tree down.
Yeah.
If you could figure out how to, make it go down into the field. I don't know how they would do it. I mean, I could ask him, I think it was an area in Mount Friday. I don't know, I just remember my kids did do that, we did that cemetery.
yeah,
And there should be records of everybody in there.
yeah, I'm pretty sure there is, yeah.
Then they wrapped a chain around it and, somehow try to move it.
Yeah,
tell Blaine that I'll go and take a look at it, next week. And then we can decide, I can get GPS coordinates, and we can figure out exactly whose land it's on, and then, we can decide what needs to be done. If we just need one person to work with him, help, or if we need somebody to get in there with a piece of machinery to grab it, so.
Yeah.
What will have to be next week.
town board meeting on Thursday, 7:00. And the town office is open Saturday, 8 to noon. Joe, anything? No? Okay. Yeah, Kathy?
I wondered if you had a moment to take a look at the building outside and figure out what was gonna need to be done? Yeah, you have?
For the siding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd it look?
It should be next week, so we got it, as far as, getting a quote for it.
Oh, good,
I mean,
okay.
it's good enough to put high power over it, cover it, take the windows.
So no bees or ants or,
I mean, it's
Security,
expected, just go like
mold.
this. and- No, once they get the roof done, they should remediate most of the mold that's up there where they're gonna
that's
be working.
good news.
Yeah, there's a little bit of punk on the bottom in spots, but,
Supports are good and,
Yeah.
okay, great,
yeah.
because it looks bad.
Press one paint and fix it up.
Yeah, the old office. Any thoughts on the mill rate? You guys went through it, what does it mean to us?
1610.
Yeah, I got the number.
$3,000 evaluation.
So, we talked a little bit about it at the, so what were we? 14.
It was 1425 or something last year, wasn't it? I think,
Does that mean much to the average citizen? Is it gonna be
It's
Means
substantial.
that we do internally, or?
Let me see, let me try this again. Six, here. It's about, it's a little over 13% increase, in, the mill rate. What that converts to for individual taxpayers depends on what their assessed value is. But on average, it will go up 13%, but there's a caveat that I put in the selectmen's town report, which is if you selected to take the 65 and older, tax stabilization program a couple of years ago, you're gonna see more.
Right, but it's coming back to get you.
Yeah. So you're gonna pay the increase from that year to last
Right.
year, and then you're gonna pay the increase.
Right.
So you're gonna make up for what you didn't pay.
Well, I don't know if
Yeah.
you're making up, you don't have to pay the back taxes, but
No, but still, you're gonna be paying something.
So we jump.
Yeah.
it'll be a jump in the rate, you know, that's what it is.
Sucks to be us. I mean, is this something that's gonna be dire and that people are gonna have, like, serious problems with? The fluctuation of heat on top of that and,
I guess it depends on the individual, but it's not good when you get a bill that's higher, right? Gas goes up, everything goes up.
yeah, everything is going up.
Yeah.
And still,
Yep,
no matter what they say.
yep.
In a way, we're paying for having been tight for as long as we have been. We're now having to buy things, repair things,
Right,
spend money on stuff that we should have been doing all along. And that's the way I see it.
There's a balance between, you can tax people like we're trying to do now with the capital investment program, and then you take money and put it away. So you don't
Right.
necessarily need it today, but you know you're gonna need it in the future. And that's a lot of part of this increase is fire trucks and trucks that are coming in line. I don't know if
yeah,
you looked at CIP, but that's where a lot of this money is. So it's like Joe's saying, we're putting money away now for an expense that we know we're gonna have down the road.
right.
So that's part of it. The other thing is, paving.
Yeah, and the materials, and how much of it from the storm,
Yeah.
culverts and everything.
That's the most of it. And as we have transitioned in the last 2 or 3 years, our labor costs are down.
Yeah,
We went from paying, I think, our road commissioner maybe $20 or $22 an hour, and I'm paying $36 or $70.
yeah, yeah.
Paying our, code enforcement officer. What's the number? Huh? I don't think so. What did you negotiate? Was it 55?
50.
Huh?
50.
Yeah. From, previously we were paying, Don Kent just under 30. So, you know, but you can't get people to work, qualified people to work for much less, so.
Right.
Sorry about
Is there anything we can do as a town to cut back, or is there any light at the end of the tunnel?
I don't know. You know, when you do the budget every year,
Right.
you look at what you think the assessed value of the town's gonna be, what you think the money's coming back from, the
Right.
sources are gonna be. And it's very hard to predict. And we got a statement from, Cumberland County this year that actually came in with a number lower than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be 16.3.
Mm-hmm.
But the town's overall assessed value went up,
Mm-hmm.
but it came down in other areas in terms of personal property, whatnot, and some other reimbursements from the state go down, whatnot, you know, there's a whole mix of things that come into.
Absolutely.
Yeah, noise. I can only go so far with, trying to delve in and come up with a number.
Right.
And, the only thing you could do is not, buy trucks and not pave roads. I mean, you look at what we spend money for, schools, for some reason, I think our state evaluation this last year that went into the calculation was low. I don't think it's gonna stay low, I think it's gonna go up. Based on what I've seen on state websites, so that's gonna go up, so our school assessment would go up. I don't know. I'm not real optimistic that we're gonna be able to wrangle things back down to,
Okay.
12 and 13 numbers, but.
Better to have it in the conversation than be taken by surprise.
Yeah. I mean, we're not out of, right now, we're not out of range with what some of the towns around us are charging in mill rates, but that's hard to, compare.
Right.
Because the mill rate is just a number that reflects, how you calculate each person's share, but, if you look at it from what's our overall budget,
Right.
And we discover stuff all the time, like, Norm Blake and myself have been working with the Cumberland County Assessors to try to figure out what the Channel 8 towers stand for.
Right.
Because it appears that there's not just Channel 8 up there, but maybe 4 different.
That was the idea when it was put in.
Well, I guess. So we tried to wrangle it up. So what we found out is that, the antenna and the transmitter are what's called telecommunications equipment. And they don't pay taxes to the town on those.
Wonderful.
They do pay taxes to the town, but on some other equipment, but those two particular things, at least, are considered telecommunications equipment. And it gets paid to the state as an excise tax, using our mill rate,
Right.
goes to the state, that's all.
Wonderful.
You know. Try to find every bit of revenue we can.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Other than that, library's moving along, and, we're getting shaped up for the, annual book sale and raffle. And we have a couple of table rentals, so that's nice. There'll be another ad in the shopping guide. It stays next week. It's 3 weeks away.
Well, I don't really have anything, except that, and I just happened to notice this on the way over here, that there's a hill at the top of the woods, there's a hole at the top of the Woods Hill Road, in the road that is just unbelievable. I ought to get fixed, I mean, because you can't really, I didn't hit it, thank God, I saw it in time, but it's hard to see it, because it's kind of like right at the top of the
Yeah.
hill, so you might want to tell.
When you walk over like this,
Yeah.
it's kind of going,
Yeah, you might want to tell him about that.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad, really.
Well, we don't know that. She's making a note of that.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll let them know. Anything else?
Other than that, no, everything's, I appreciate everything you guys do. It's a lot of work. I wouldn't want to do it.
Mary Ellen? Bruce? Dad? Sure. Been pretty quiet down the P's?
Oh, yeah.
Is that because of the lack of people, or you finally got them whipped into shape?
They just don't,
They're scared of it.
they just don't wanna pay for the,
Yeah, there's another thing on Facebook about that.
Yeah,
there's a lady,
yeah.
I was driving down the road with my tractor the other day, and a lady was laying me down, and she said, you know where there's a place where we can go swimming? My son really wants to go swimming. I said, where are you from? She said, somewhere else, not Hiram or Ford or anywhere else. I said, oh, yeah.
Soccer River.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the river. You have a ski ball on the way and down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't that go to town, Steve Town and Township of Victoria, or not?
They, I don't think it's town line, I think it's by.
I don't know,
Yeah.
my son owns property in, right in that area.
Yeah,
And he actually owns, he has quite a lot of frontage on it,
oh, yeah,
but he likes to go in there.
yeah, right.
So I could ask him to just,
I know they got Spade Lake on Harmon Beach. That's, the town owns that now, so.
because you probably have to use the Lego.
Yeah, or Standish, yeah.
Well, yeah, he lives in things, technically.
Yeah, Sunset Spring, you can go down there for, they used to charge for the downloads, $10 a download, something like that.
I saw him in the hot tub. I do.
Yeah.
No,
I used to go down the brook.
Yeah, you have pretty good work there.
Yeah, yeah. Robin?
The planning board ad and Dale's bid, if I could just have final approval on things, I know Joe had wanted to edit it or something, I didn't, the planning board ad, or maybe it's just no. There was some feedback, so I just need final approval on what goes into the paper.
What's the deal about?
Planning board, was it planning board? No, for the second
Vacancy
note
position.
taker,
Oh,
the note taker.
oh, the note taker.
Oh, okay,
You-
note taker, yeah.
Note taker.
And then the planning board member vacancy too.
No, nobody over 80 need a form.
Yeah.
Get one more year.
So the note taker
That's right.
ad, I don't know if that needs to be tweaked a little bit, the note taker ad, or not, but I just need a final approval. And then on Dale's bed, I need a final approval to get those off to the shoppers bag for next week. And then the other thing that I wanted to note was, the beautiful town signs that the road crew put up. I wanna post a thank you, but before I broadcast it, not too loudly, but, on Facebook and everything, because I'm sure enough people have seen. Should we do something about some security cameras if we can, like deer cams, or a sign that you know, that kind of throws people off, that says under surveillance or something, because I think it's just a matter of time, my opinion only,
Yeah,
but,
I thought of that too.
or,
As it begins,
yeah,
yeah.
and we have insurance money that we're not utilizing for the signs because they were donated, that we might be able to do like a fake ADT. You know, surveillance, under surveillance, or deer cams or something like that, I don't know. Something to think about, but,
You can get some fairly small cameras too, that, you know, you just have to charge them up like every 2 months or so. That, then they can't see them like the trail cam.
yeah, because if they see them, like then you get first shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you put a dummy with a real one.
Yes,
That's what they do with bird
Yes,
cams.
my date is there,
Yeah.
right where the gate is down,
Yeah.
they've got cameras, even right down at it, and it's fake, I know what you're saying.
My father got one of those, yeah, it's a big camera.
Yeah.
Be careful, because like the ATVs, there's laws about that. If you need written permission from a landowner.
Oh, to put the camera on,
Camera.
okay, yeah,
Okay.
that makes sense, yeah,
What's the good point?
Actually, I don't know if it's written, but you need permission. to
Yeah.
put it on.
that would make sense.
Did you get permission to have the sign there?
That's probably in the right of way, I don't know. Is it in the, like, the state right of way, or,
A good point.
I don't know.
I don't know, if
The town's on.
they got permission or not, and.
Or we can just roll with it and,
I would say, definitely, long enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you just, don't write a thank you note, and let it go with that, don't put it on Facebook, don't put it in there.
That looks sharp.
Yeah.
I just think that it should be acknowledged somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do, I really do.
Before I did anything, I can see that.
I know someday in the future where we're gonna need other new ones. If you're on, some of the steep falls, that's the rod, you want, I mean, used to they go on,
Oh, yeah.
it's pretty raw.
Are they the same type of signs? Is it a matter of just replacing the post, or is the whole sign compromised?
The whole sign. Now, the posts are okay. It's the fiber, the little wooden ones,
Okay.
like we originally had. You have any thoughts?
Yeah, we talked before about Delicio Road. Give us some idea, but I did a pretty in-depth look at who's there and who owns what, looking for a, possible, violation of the subdivision ordinance. I did find one, but it's very old, so no longer anything that's past 20 years is considered.
It's there.
It's there.
It's there.
There's been a lot of stuff bought and sold, moved around, and, I noticed that the town is taxing some pieces on both sides of the road as individual lots, individual lots instead of one lot. I don't know how old Delicio Road is. Tried to find maps, go back, I couldn't find anything that was, from, 2000 or earlier. I didn't see anything with a road on it, but whatever. I don't think that there's anything there that we can do, but there's an issue of people wanting to build there, and the width of the right of way, and that inspire road. I'll leave that alone.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, just one thing, in light of, Article 64 of the 1997 town meeting that Paul came up with, maybe we ought to, while we're doing the land use ordinance, maybe we ought to, do a little revision from what is stated here.
What would you like to see for that?
None,
Really?
yeah. Do we want mobile home parks? You know, I'm surprised nobody's inquired over the last 30 years.
Mobile home park, I think at the time was not a matter of choice on our part.
Yeah,
State law.
Yeah,
you have to designate certain,
You don't have to designate place for them, but I think you can't deny them.
okay,
I can look it up and see, but if I look at that,
even with the way our growth ordinances are written, that doesn't conflict with mass trailer park stuff.
you can just punch into your browser, main mobile home or trailer park.
I will look up the rules, that's probably a lot easier than that.
it doesn't make sense to financially to put a trailer park involved,
No, you wouldn't think,
you know.
just because of the water supply and the sewer.
If I wanted to do a major development like that, I'd do better putting up houses.
So, no,
You know, so why put in trailers?
Yeah, they depreciate too.
Yeah,
15 years and done.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna talk about a building code. I thought you were talking about the building code.
Oh, yeah, it's still a work in progress, I guess, with Mike.
We have a building code,
Yeah, there's the VOCA back in,
VOCA 98.
yeah, that was adopted back then, but I feel by state standards, that would be obsolete. Just because of all the new, you used to be able to use certain games that you can't use anymore because they're not structural. You used to be able to do a rich roll differently what you have to do it now.
What I think we're interested in having something that can be inspected, number one, but number two, I don't think we want some of the things the newest codes have in.
No, of course not, no. It's all the bare minimum and,
Personally, I'm happy with what we've got.
well, it's work.
Well,
Yeah.
the interesting thing is that what we have is a Ballman building, ordinance. And the VOCA code quote was, the 96 one was, to strike out the older one and quote the newer one.
Yeah.
But that's one part of the whole code that was, 5 or 6 pages long, and it's been amended a number of times over the years. I can find where it's been amended, but I can't find where it was amended to.
Great.
So 2012 was the last time I actually saw in the record where it was amended. I think it was amended maybe a year or two earlier than that. But the actual copy of it, I think, that I have is was the 75 version. I poked around, I can't find it. I don't know where it might be. I don't know if the Historical Society has those type of things. They have it. It's not usually the type of things that are laying out there. You almost, if you look at the code, a lot of it has to do with how you do things. But it also duplicated some of the things that are in the land use ordinance. I don't think we should do those. Keep both things separate.
Yeah, no, I think, having the code enforcement with relative knowledge of how things are supposed to go is good enough for a code book because, he enforces what he knows and nothing should come back to us. I don't think we actually have to have any kind of physical copy on the desk of this thing.
And not need the code book, but, tell somebody else to enforce it. You need an ordinance to back it up. Whatever. Can require some more.
Robin, you want us to sign these, the State of America, you know? This is for Tony and Dwight, for the State of America, award.
Sign, you sign it first, I'll sign behind you.
Okay.
Can I ask you guys how you feel about, we're gonna be working on a noise ordinance next. How do you feel about how that should be enforced? Whether the town buys a decibel meter? Do you have any thoughts or preferences on, going forward? Because we're gonna face a lot of stuff.
I think it's gonna be hard to enforce.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Not straightforward.
If someone's making a bunch of noise and you gotta run down there with a meter. And is it gonna be 80 decibels for 2 seconds, or is it gonna be 80 decibels for 5 minutes, you know? I know with OSHA, if you're working more than 8 hours at 80 decibels, you have to do an internet test. It could be pretty tough to enforce. What kind of noise? I mean, is it noise that's more annoying, or is it loud, you know?
Well, my music might be annoying to you.
Right, yeah, and my music might be loud to me, but not you, you know?
Right,
'cause,
right.
you got hearing aids, and, you know.
Yes, I do.
Or somebody, yeah, so, it's subjective, what it is. I mean, we hear the burnouts, but somebody might say it's annoying, but I listen to them, I'm annoying. We're gonna get complaints. You know, so we had, we have to send a code enforcement officer somewhere, and somebody's out cutting trees. You know, is there a provision for that, you know? Everybody that cuts their own trees, and, you know, my father uses a saw rig, and, you know, it's pretty loud.
Or like a generator running for hours and
Yeah.
hours,
Yeah,
forever.
Yeah.
You know, when, in times of, no power outage.
Right.
Yeah.
And muffled blows, that's what happened with ours, during the ice storm. All of a sudden the muffler went, and it's like, you probably could hear it up to your house.
No, they got us up on Sturlog's Hill that day, I'm pretty sure that's my job.
It must be down over the hill, there's not the.
We was up on the top of the hill, and I get like,
Yeah,
I could hear it.
I can imagine what they do.
Lawn mowing, I'd hate to see Bolton have a lawn mowing ordinance. You can only mow on,
It'll be like South Portland.
I don't think that was cool.
I don't either.
South Portland, you can only have electric lawnmower.
But
Really?
if you're commercial, you can use a gas one.
With your commercial, you can use gas one?
That's pretty loud.
Yeah.
I have one.
Electrical?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine's pretty quiet, I got a battery on.
Mine's battery one.
Is it?
I think it's loud.
Yeah, well, see, I don't think mine is it, I don't think mine is it. You do, and it's.
I got both, I got,
It's gonna be,
I've got a
it's
lighting
so
on.
subjective.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You
Me
know, I
too,
don't know how you could even write or enforce it, you know? You might wanna go more toward like a mass gathering nuisance type of, or what's a nuisance, for how long is, not stuff.
Your father came to, one night, and he was right down the road from them,
Mhm.
and you didn't bother him on it.
Yeah, well, one day he went out and talked to him because it drove him nuts, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Freddie wouldn't look to you to solve the problem.
Well, they got to the point where they were bringing in trucks with no headers on them and stuff
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
So,
It's ridiculous.
we kinda spoke to him about that, and it seems like they tamed it down a little
Really,
bit.
well, that's good.
He's got a little bit of pulling power because they wanted the dam fixed at their Wood Mill Road.
Yeah,
My father owns half, Keene owns half.
yeah.
Well, when that dam goes, that's just gonna be another forest, once that, it's just gonna be a brook down.
Yeah.
So that was made for the mill.
Yeah.
Over that dam, so.
Right.
So he wants that dam fixed, we can still have his pond, so that's kinda what
So it's kind of,
used as a leverage to
Yeah.
try to tame him as much as he can as a neighbor,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, that's good.
but no, it's a tough one.
Yeah,
I just want to open the conversation with you guys too.
yeah.
Because you're the guys asking me to do that.
Yeah, do that, have Lloyd next Friday. Verify what
How
you
much
say,
money
what
do you want to
like.
spend?
That's just it,
Right, yeah.
that's just it.
Yeah, you get some people, that go down there with them, and I do wear one for a day, to measure the noise and halfway.
But just a truck going by if you're on the side of the road, and that's like some silly, like 85 decibels for a
Yeah.
certain amount of time,
Yeah.
but that's,
I know Cindy Foreman one time tried to do Dan Harley Davidson motorcycle, and they found it impossible.
of course.
You know, how you gonna, to keep people from drive through the city or how?
That was inviting people into the city.
Yeah. So,
Roll thunder.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
I guess you're charged with a impossible task.
Well, it'll be part of our agenda for a long time.
Yeah. You have to thought out pretty.
But, you know, first you pass it and then you find out what you should have done.
Yeah. All right, anything else? I move we, adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?